afternoon. Do we need to speak English or somebody needs Russian? Кому-нибудь нужно говорить по-русски, или все хорошо понимают английский? Коллеги, пожалуйста, не стесняйтесь, что вы скажете по-русски, мы что-нибудь сейчас придумаем. Все хорошо, как вы understand English? Let me please introduce our wonderful guests. Being a few of us, this doesn't change the fact that we are numbers, because quite a number of people have promised that they will transfer the knowledge that they will receive now to the others. Because, for example, the whole group of medical students and the whole group of the after-school course cannot come because they have a full-time job, but their professors and their colleagues are present here, so they will do this mission. I'm really happy to, there's going to be, I think, more important events than now, and that it's really a shame that we are so few, but there's such an important event that we are attending. We are visited by our good friends and by very distinguished colleagues, Joel Erikson, the head of the Fulbraiта program in the Russian Federation, and David Armstrong, the president of Robert College. From California,
from Fort Lauderdale, near Miami, in Florida.
Oh, sorry, from Florida, yes. You didn't realize geography is not mine. But this is a shame. Yeah, I repeat, president of the college and the head of the Fulbraita program. So let's welcome our distinguished guests, and I hope they will tell us a very important and useful information about our whereabouts at the new ocean of the humanities and the education nowadays. So please welcome.
Thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure to visit Smolny Institute. I consider St. Petersburg to be my Russian home, to tell you the truth, even though I've been living in Moscow for a number of years now. This is where I met my wife, and our kids consider this their home, and so it's always great to come back. I want to talk about a few things today. Mainly, I want to make sure that you can learn everything you need to know about participating in the Fulbright program, and also where you can go to get information about Fulbright. So if I don't cover some things in my talk today, don't worry. We can see to it that you get information in other ways. The brochures I've handed out have practical information about all the programs that we offer, deadlines, and also websites you can go to find out more information. Everyone here, you all are faculty members, as I understand?
I haven't familiar with some of our colleagues. We have named those of you whom I don't know. For example, Maxim Kutkov, you already know him. He is the, how can I introduce you? The chair of the theatrical awards, right? The founder. Right? Professor Artyuk, you'll probably explain who you are better than I will do. Maybe please introduce yourself. Yeah, I think this is a good thing. Everybody would say a few words who you are. I think this is nice.
I'm a faculty member. I started teaching American cinema and history of cinema in this one.
Please, ladies.
I'm a student of Pittsburgh State University.
You're not from here, right? You're just
Yes.
you're
Yeah, not from here.
not from here. That's nice.
That's okay.
I'm from a faculty of
I'm teaching here music programs, also academic writing, and I'm also a Fulbright alumni, and I'm a chair of the Junior Scholars Union.
I'm from Rostock. I teach here. I teach general English. My research field is literature.
My name is Leila Abasana. I'm studying program musical criticism.
My name is Leila Abasana. I'm studying here on master program. Literature and criticism.
I'm Sultan Figure. I'm a member of this faculty and studying cinema in art criticism.
Tatiana Yurievna. I'm a specialist in American art, in Russian avant-garde, and I read here lectures about American from 18th century up to present day.
Okay, great. Well, nice to meet you all. And let me just go ahead and show you some slides about the Fulbright program. But first, I'd like to remind you a little bit about Fulbright. It started in 1946, after the end of World War II. Senator Fulbright wanted to convert money spent on weapons into money spent now on education, thinking that this would be the best way to increase mutual understanding, which is really the goal of the Fulbright program, is mutual understanding between countries. 155 countries are involved in the Fulbright program now. So many countries, people from all over the world come to the United States, and people in the United States go out all over the world to participate in the program. If you apply for the Fulbright program in 2015, it's actually in order to participate for the 2016-2017 academic year, okay? Just so you know. It's a fairly long process to place people at U.S. universities. So we need that amount of time to get people placed who become finalists in the program. Now these slides will be in Russian, so I think that'll maybe make things go more smoothly today. I can answer any questions that you might have in Russian, but I think it's good to give the presentation in English, given that English is the language of the program. These are our most popular programs, starting with the program that we have for what we would call graduate students, but people who are either earning a master's degree or who are interested in doing research for what you would call the kandidatskaya degree. We have those who teach English here can participate in our program for English teachers, but those people who are teaching English here would actually go to the United States to teach Russian and have the opportunity to participate in American courses at American University. We also have a program for those who teach in Russian universities, what we call the Fulbright Faculty Development Program. That's for younger faculty members up to age 39. Our most famous program, though, is for professors and researchers. That's a program that's been happening in Russia since 1973, actually. We actually now have over 2,000 alumni, or выпускники of the program Fulbright in Russia, which is enough, I think, to probably even have their own university. Really, it's a really great, strong group. We have a program for people who work in international education administration. And finally, for Russian universities, we can send you specialists. And that's important for all of you, whether if you want to apply for the program in the United States, great. But you can also think about inviting American professors to come here. Within the normal program, for all the things you're applying for, basically we have the corollary for Americans to come here, American professors to come, say, for a full academic year. But through the Fulbright Specialist Program, you can also invite professors to come here for a short period of time, from 2 to 6 weeks, which can be very useful for special projects, etc. And to do that, I'll tell you a bit more in particular what you need to do, but you can actually find, maybe there's professors you already know in the United States who you would like to come, or doing your research about what people are doing in the States, you find someone particularly interesting that you can reach out to and encourage them to become a Fulbright specialist. And then we can arrange for them to come here. We bring 10 Fulbright specialists per year to Russia. And we, to be honest, sometimes we don't even bring all of our 10 allotted specialists to Russia. So it's not that competitive of a program. So if you want to participate by bringing someone over, it's not that difficult to win, to be honest. Not everyone believes me when I tell them that, but the Fulbright program is fully funded. I don't know what's so funny about the slides. People think it's cute. That's nice. We pay for transportation. We pay for the cost of living in the United States. The stipend is based on the cost of living So you want to make sure that because it's very expensive to get a crown, for example, in the United States. And so we actually had people who've had dental problems once they arrive, who've had to come back to Russia to take care of them. So just so you know. And then, like I said, the monthly stipend that covers all the costs of living, and then we pay the tuition as well. If you're invited to come to an interview for Fulbright, we pay for your transportation to come. We pay for the cost of your taking the tests. So even the cost of participation in the competition is covered. We don't want it to cost you anything except maybe a stamp to participate in the program. You need to be a Russian citizen. So if you're not a Russian citizen who's studying, say at Smolny or anywhere in St. Petersburg or in Russia, you can't participate. You must have Russian citizenship. And you must be permanently living here in Russia. So if you're at the Free University in Germany, but you just happen to be in town today at my lecture, you can't apply for the program. You must be living here too. You must have a good understanding of the English language. Most likely, not in all cases, but in almost all cases, you'll need to take the TOEFL test in order to show your English language level. If you become a finalist for the program, you receive a J1 visa. That means that you have J1 visas are people who are on or go to the United States to study, and it means that you've won a scholarship to do so, a U.S. government-funded scholarship to do so. You must return for 2 years after your program ends in the United States. That's also a very important thing for us. We don't want people to stay in the United States because what good would the program do if it just brings people to the United States? We don't want to contribute to any brain drain. We want to contribute to people who get their education in the States returning back here. So there's 3 phases to the competition. The first one is that you need to fill out an application. The applications are online. I'll give you the website where you'll go to find the online applications. The second part involves testing and interviews. And the third part basically involves finding, once we've created a semi-finalist list, deciding which people will be recommended to which universities, etc. Of course, again, the TOEFL result, and in most cases the GRE result is really critical to our deciding who will go. This is very important to the U.S. universities. They have standards that must be met regarding what your TOEFL scores are. So you can't go to the United States if you have a TOEFL score of 70. You have to have at least 80, and depending on the program, much more likely you need something closer to 100 points on the TOEFL test. It's important to know that all the applications are read by a binational committee. That means that every application is read by 2 Americans who are experts in their field and 2 Russians who are experts in their field. This is a binational program. All of the decisions are made by binational groups who decide. If you come to an interview, for example, will be both Russians and U.S. citizens who are on the interview committee and commenting on your interview performance. Again, because we think it's really important to show the cooperation between the U.S. and Russia in deciding who actually becomes finalists. You must fill out an online application, as I said, and also there'll be a medical form that you have to complete as well. The Visiting Graduate Student Program is the most popular program. We get about 450 applications from all over Russia right now, which is less than we used to get, but for demographic reasons, there's been in the early 90s, Russia was having fewer babies. And so now there's fewer 22, 23, 24-year-olds, and so the number of applications we receive is less than, say, 6, 7 years ago. But that, for any of your students, is a good thing, because it's less competitive when you imagine 450 applications for 70 finalists, roughly 70 finalists, is actually a very high percentage for success. And again, the people who are at the universities in St. Petersburg are very strong candidates, and are likely to be well represented in a group of finalists. The final day for application is 15 May 2015. Very important date. You can't hand in your application or send in your application after that date. It's important to note that if you're going because you want to earn a master's degree, it may be for 1 year, but it may be for 2. U.S. master's degree programs vary in length. So maybe a psychology degree from the University of Minnesota is just 1 year. A psychology degree from University of Maine might be 2. It just depends on the university and the sort of program they decided to set up. If you're going to do research for your kandidatske degree, you can only go for 1 academic year. And if you've already defended your academic your thesis, you're not eligible to go. It's only for those who have not completed and defended their theses who can go as research students. If you're in your final year of undergraduate studies, you can apply, but you must show us a academic transcript that's official and stamped by the university. Again, TOEFL score needs to be, it's best if it approaches or reaches 100. You can't be older than 30 years old to be part of this program. Foreign language teaching assistant program, again, is for those who teach English here, but you go to the United States to teach Russian. We speak English pretty well in the States already, so we probably don't need much help in that regard. Your application needs to be in by the 1st of June for this program. It's a full academic year, and you can also take 2 classes per semester, which is great if you can take classes in the English language department if you like, or wherever you find it would be interesting to be. So it's a nice way to combine earning new teaching experience, teaching in your native language, 20 hours a week, but also you have the opportunity to study and to participate in courses in the United States, maybe even develop some new class ideas, etc. These are for people between 21 and 29 years of age. You must already be teaching English here, have experience teaching, and you must plan to return to teach as well. So you have to, you need to make it clear that your plan is to continue teaching English when you return from the program. There's probably a few people in here who are interested in this program. It's the Fulbright Faculty Development Program, which is really dedicated to young faculty and developing new courses. And also showing that your university is interested in supporting you when you return to introduce your courses into the curriculum at your university. In this, you're able to participate in graduate level seminars. This program lasts for 5 months, from August through January. It's designed not to take young faculty away from the university for too long, because we know your university needs you too. Okay, again, you need to have experience in this up to at least 3 years of teaching experience already. You can't be older than 39 years old. This is a program for professors and researchers. You need to have your application in by the 15th of July for this program. If you want to do research on this program, you can go to the United States from 3 to 6 months. If you're planning on teaching, you would go from anywhere from 3 to 9 months. One nice thing about the program for uchone is that you can bring family with you. If you have a spouse and kids, they can come too. And of course, you get a larger stipend to support that. I think that's great. Because again, the Fulbright program is designed for supporting the development of mutual understanding between countries. And it's probably just as effective in having children come as it is those who are actually participating in the Fulbright program itself. Children can go to school, just integrate into normal life. And it's the same thing for American professors who come to Russia. In many cases, they bring their families with them. Last year we had a professor who came with a family of 3 kids, and they stayed in the dormitories in Moscow State University. It was big, and they thought that was great. For this, there's no limit on age. We've had candidates in their 70s. We don't care how old you are for this program. It makes no difference. This is a program, RIEA as we call it, RIA. 15th of July is the application deadline. It's for those who are working in international education administration. So I don't think there's anyone like that here, but if you know someone who's working in international education.
They were invited and they were interested, and I'm really surprised that they are very active at our faculty, and this is a shame they don't see that.
They're too busy, I understand. And by the way, I should emphasize that my office in Moscow, you'll see the contact information in a little while. You can agree to do webinars. So we can do a webinar just for you at a time that's more convenient for your administrators or your faculty members or your students, where we can have our experts can give very specific answers to questions, can give a very detailed explanation of what goes into a successful application, all of this. So this is certainly not the last chance to get information about the program. We can.
Plenty of time.
Yeah. So don't feel bad if there's people that you know who are interested who can't come today, because we can definitely reach out to them again. Here are websites for all the different programs that I've told you about, and here's our address, phone number. You can write to us with questions at info@fulbright.guru. You can go to our website at fulbright.guru as well. You can come to see us at Tverskoy Boulevard if you're in Moscow. It's a pretty good location. It's easy to find. We have a samovar, so we can give you tea, all those important things. We always like to have guests. It's a very pleasant office and really dedicated staff. The deputy director has been working in the Fulbright program for 20 years. We have other people who've been working in the Fulbright program from anywhere from 5 to 7 years. I've only been working in Fulbright for 2 years, but I have about 17 years of international education experience. So it's my life. It's everything to me to support people going abroad and study for periods, because I think it's one of the greatest experiences you can have. And I encourage all of you to try your best to win. If it doesn't work out, try again. We like that. Americans are aspirational, and we like it when people try again. It's a thing for us. So if you don't win once, but you come back again, it actually increases your chances of being selected. If you try and try again, if you have to be part of the program. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Angelica, I forgot your last name. I'm sorry to say. Yes, is actually will be participating in the program as film studies, and it was I remember researching film study and American film, and I remember our interview here in St. Petersburg, and it was fascinating. And so maybe you can ask her some questions if you're wondering about how to write a strong application, because she's congratulations. It's a big deal. It's very important, whatever program you apply for, you have to write a statement of purpose. And this is really a very important part of your application. Americans write differently than Russians. Russians tend to write the most important things toward the end. And Americans tend to write the most important things at the beginning. And so I would encourage you, you may not agree with that, but it will probably enhance your chances to write the most important things first. Okay? And secondly, many of you will need to have, as part of your applications, you'll need to have letters of recommendation. And so I recommend that you reach out to those who would be recommending you as early as possible, to give them plenty of time to write a good recommendation for you. If possible, you can even, if you have time, give them your statement of purpose that you write for them to see, because that will help them write a better letter of recommendation for you. What was else? Some of you may want an employer to recommend you, that's fine. Most of you will probably choose to have a faculty member or faculty colleague recommend you. In most cases, that's better. But if you have an interesting work experience, especially something that's fairly close to your area of interest academically, there's nothing wrong with having an employer write a letter of recommendation for you either. So keep all that in mind. And that's really it. You're welcome to ask questions. I'd like to say a few words about David Armstrong, who's the president of Broward College, because he visited Russia 2 years ago. And as part of a special program we have for U.S. college presidents, it's called the Community College Administrators Seminar. And we bring a delegation of the presidents and high-level administrators to Russia to visit Russian universities, to tell them about this aspect of the American higher educational system and learn more about the Russian educational system. And even though you're not a community college, one thing I think that's very, very different about Smolny is that you are Russia's only liberal arts and sciences institution. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it.
First, maybe not the only, but maybe the most liberal.
And what other is there?
School of Economics, I think. Then there's now there are quite a few, but there
Which
are.
school of economics?
I think Moscow.
You mean the higher school of economics?
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Then I read before the Russian presidency and he's some kind of thing. They claim that they are. Actually, I know that because they know that.
Some do, but when we look more closely, we find they're not.
That's the
Maybe they are. At any rate, it's rare in Russian education to have that. And the thing that President Armstrong was able to accomplish for Broward College was a type of almost dual degree program that's been established in Kazan, where students in Kazan at the Kazan National Research Technological University can take Broward College courses that are taught by KNIPU faculty in English and earn an associate degree from Broward College. And this is really interesting for a number of reasons, some of which are that it's a way for a university that has aspirations to become one of the top 100 universities in the world to demonstrate that it can teach in English, which for better or for worse is becoming more and more of a requirement for competitive universities in the world now, being able to teach in English. So with that, I open the floor to questions. Anything you want to know, I'll try to answer, and if not, I'll tell you where you can go to get an answer. Yes?
Joel, is it also necessary to take it if you are a professor applying for the later program?
You don't have to take, if you're applying for the senior professor program, you don't have to take TOEFL. Even though by listening to you speak, I get an impression that it wouldn't be difficult. TOEFL's a funny test, though. And you should know that we often interview people who speak English really well. I mean, really well.
It was me. I didn't pass TOEFL. That's why my life.
Well, there you go. Some people have trouble with TOEFL. Some people do really well on the British test IELTS. but they don't do well on TOEFL. And I think that it's probably because of the way TOEFL is organized. It seems people aren't comfortable in the TOEFL testing environment. And so what I would recommend is that there's opportunities to go online and to take mock fake TOEFL, just to get an idea about how the test is organized. Then I recommend that you do this, because that way when you're taking the actual TOEFL, it won't seem so strange to you, and you'll probably get a better score. So, TOEFL.
Thank you.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to take TOEFL. Any other questions?
Interest is about asking keep play. Yeah.
So could you say a little bit more, just briefly clarify about program for artists? Well, program for artists, for example, what kind of activity of artists the program can support? Exhibitions or research? Something.
We definitely support research for artists, and we support artists who want to go to the United States to matriculate or to be part of an art institute.
Mm-hmm.
That's all very open. You know, on the back of these brochures I've handed out, by the way, we have all the subjects that we support. So art history, fine arts. If you're an artist, you can.
I mean, contemporary art.
Absolutely supported. I should point out, there's one mistake here that I don't think will affect anyone. We don't have masters in business administration. Art history, yes. So that's all supported. If you're a working artist, you will need to provide a portfolio. And to be honest, it might be for you in particular nice to have a webinar. I can't specifically tell you, because I'm not that experienced in this aspect of the program, all the things you'll need to provide in a portfolio, but there's people in my office who can.
I'm already doing some webinar.
Good. Yeah, you want to do that because I think that you'll have time, and I think the earlier you know what you need to show, the better. A second thing for you that I would advise is that you need to do research. Actually, all of you need to do research on the institutions that you would like to connect with in the United States, places potentially where you would like to be placed if you are selected. Chicago, for example, is one selection, and that's fine. It's good to show that you've reached out to that university or institute. You don't have to, but there's a place in the application where it says you don't have to, but it gives you the opportunity to name 3 institutions. And personally, I really like that, because I think it shows your interest. It shows that you're trying very hard to find out what the best place is for you. And in many cases, if you choose well, it will be easier for us to choose you, because we know it will be easier to place you at a university, especially one with which you connected with, say, a scholar there, who says, yes, Dr. Ivanov would be a welcome, person here at our university. We would love it if you would come teach and do research, or we would love it if she would be a master's student at our university, whatever. But note this, that I'm not saying this about all of you or any of you, but many Russians don't know much about the U.S. system of higher education besides maybe 2 words, Harvard and Stanford. All right? And if you think, oh, I'm smart, I'm great, I want to go to Harvard, that's it, it doesn't make you as strong a candidate as you might think. Why? Because first of all, it's very difficult to get people into Harvard, and it's very, very expensive. We prefer to place people at many of the really fine state universities, like Michigan State, or the University of Michigan, Ohio State, or the University of California, because these are really good, and they're not nearly as expensive as the Ivy League universities like Harvard or Yale, or the really elite universities like Stanford. So a person has to be, if you really think you want to go to Harvard, for example, you need have to think that you're almost a genius in order to be selected to go there.
Sorry, one more.
Just one more thing for you, though, is that for art, many of the places a person would study art are extremely expensive, especially those that are in New York.
Sorry, I have one more question, just short question. For a moment, I'm applying to a doctoral program abroad in Finland, in PhD in art. So I have a chance to be the first Russian artist who will get this degree. You know, I'm graduated, actually I graduated from master's program and so on. So will it be possible to apply to Fulbryta, for example, for some 3 or 6 months? I think the 3 months program, and simultaneously be a student of doctoral program in Finland?
No.
No?
You can't be on program in Finland and apply for the Fulbright program. So if you already accepted an offer from a Finnish university, then you would not actually be able to be a candidate for the Fulbright program. If you're just applying to that university and you've not been accepted,
Just apply.
that's okay.
I passed the first.
Sure, you can do that now, but you would be going in order to do research then. Correct? You don't want to earn a master's degree, you want to go to do research, yes? That's fine. And you would go for up to 6 months to do research in the United States if you wanted to. But again, if you defended your dissertation, then you're ineligible. Okay? If you're accepted and planning to go to, if you're already in Finland studying or doing your research, you're also not eligible. Because you have to be here in order to be eligible.
Thank you.
So keep that in mind. Yeah.
May I ask you, those are MPhil students who are the second year, the final year, and the first year. So can they apply for Fulbright program as a student program or a master's degree program when they are the first and the second? For example, in the second, it means that they will be done by the end of the application year, and in the first year, they will be just in the middle of the program. So what to do in this case? Can they intervene and get back to their master's program here, or they can just get another master's program in the US?
They can do that.
Both cases. So you and Jules now listen to this. So this is the chance for you, like for many of us to do that.
May I ask a question? I know that Fulbright program organizes visa interview for the hires or researchers and relatives. And where is this visa interview taking place? In Moscow or also in St.
It will be in Moscow.
It's in Moscow.
Yeah. What we do is for those of you who have become finalists, you're going to go, we have something we call a pre-departure orientation, which takes place in Moscow, and it's mandatory, and it's at the end of June. And we do the training in Moscow, and on the day before or the day after, that's the day when we take everybody that go to the U.S. Embassy, the consulate has to have their visa interview. Yeah.
It's the end of June.
Yes, end of June.
Any more questions?
Thank you for coming. Appreciate you coming. And don't forget about those webinars. They're very useful, they're very popular, they really help people out a lot. And we look forward to getting your applications.
Thank you.
Professor Armstrong, do you want to say a few words?
No, but if anyone has any questions about my college.
Questions about Broward College, what they're doing here now, anything like that?
What are you doing here now?
Well, as Joel mentioned, I don't know if you're familiar with this unique community college system that is in the United States. And so Broward College in particular is in Florida, near Miami. Fort Lauderdale is the name of the city, adjacent to Miami. We have 67,000 students from all over the world, including Russians, who are attending our institution. A third of our students were not born in the United States. They come from all over Latin America, South America, Central America. So it makes for a very rich, culturally very rich environment for learning. It's a beautiful place. It's very warm there right now. It stays warm year-round. I have an overcoat that I haven't used until I come here. So it's a great place to visit. We would love to have any of you visit. We have a full range of programs, including the arts. We have a film making program. Our students often take film courses. We have full music and dance programs. But a big part of what we do, different from the very specialized and wonderful quality programs that you have in liberal arts and humanities, is we focus on a lot of applied and career programs. And so we train a lot of students for medical professions, for IT professions, transportation programs, everything from pilot training to be a nurse. But in addition, about half of our 67,000 students are very similar to your students who are studying the arts or humanities, and then they go to great universities all over the United States. So that's what we do.
The Russian educational system, which is consolidating a lot of universities, is also bringing your technicum under the wing of a lot of universities, like Polytechnic University here now has technicum that are part of the university. Same thing when we were just in Kaliningrad, for example, and we found a lot of interest in what Broward is doing at the Kaliningrad State Technical University. Their shipping institute. Places like this were very interesting in Broward.
I mean, actually, David Armstrong, are you related to Neil?
Yes, of course.
the same significant and popular. Yeah, I think we should know more about your university. And actually, I've been to Fort Lauderdale. This really is a heavenly place. I honestly been there just now realized looking through your business card, which is done both in Russian and in English. Oh, wow, this is the influence. And this is the significance of the place, the double language. This is a really, really beautiful place out there, wonderful environment, sunshine, and beauties, and we see now the knowledge, just likewise.
If any of you would love to visit anytime, the arts are huge, and the visual and performing arts are becoming a big part of South Florida. We have Art Basel, you may have heard of, that is one of the biggest celebrations of art from all over the world internationally at Miami Beach and in Miami, that is just next door to us. So it's a great place to visit. I'd be happy to give any of you cards if you'd like to visit sometime, visit our institution, or we can give you more information about just visiting Miami, Fort Lauderdale, South Florida.
It's the Venice of the United States, right?
Yeah.
Just like you're the Venice of the North,
That's
they're
right.
the Venice of the United States.
Exactly. Many, many canals in Fort Lauderdale, similar to here, and we're the capital for the world's largest mega super yachts for the richest of people, many of whom are Russians who are coming now to buy these big yachts, and Chinese wealthy people are coming there. So it's a very international place. Lots of Russians are in South Florida as well. They like our temperature, our culture, and other things. So please come visit. If you'd like a card of mine, I'd be happy to give it to you.
We do organize quite a number of international events, just like one of them, a small student conference that we are now working on, which is very approaching. And there are students from all the worlds, and many students from the United States, not only from Bard College. So we would be more than welcome to seeing your students. We have the funding for this, so that is this housing, but also sometimes the travel expenses. So that makes sense, and I hope there will be even more. It would be great to have liaison between us and you. So thank you very much indeed for visiting us and for giving us a presentation. And so looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Now I ask you to just switch to Russian, just because I think it will influence our people more to listen. Дорогие коллеги, у нас был план еще и обменяться небольшим опытом, потому что вы профессор Джоел, и ваш покойный слуга, вы являетесь, вы только что будет будущим финалистом программы, а я теперь. И поэтому у меня к вам вопрос. Вы достаточно уже услышали, или вы хотите еще немножко, например, минут 15, услышать наши рассказы? Я, например, имею сейчас много чего, как говорится, сказать, много таких вот вещей, которые хочется добавить, относительно того, чтобы лучше объяснить вам некоторые нюансы. Потому что пока, я чувствую по глазам некоторых из вас, вы еще не до конца прошли в эту реку, я хочу понять, чтобы вы поняли, как это изи, как это реально возможно войти и стать финалистом программы. Потому что, вот, дать вам еще пример. На нашем факультете далеко не только мы являемся финалистами программы. Это наши все знаменитые, вот Бориса Мамулкина, это Александр Куклышкин, это люди, которые прошли Фулбрайта, и чья карьера, можно сказать, сложилась, как себя тоже могу сказать, моя карьера сложилась благодаря Фулбрайту. Так вот, хотели бы вы еще немножко нам порассказывать 15 минут, или вы уже торопитесь и хотите уйти? Что вы They say they want to hear a bit more from, as you said, from our student, from Angelica, and from me. Do you think this could be what we do if we continue with our seminar? Sure. And then you can join in and say something. Of course. Yeah. Sure. That's it. So, Angelica, would you mind being first, or me to go first for this? Okay, then да, все коллеги сказали, что вы можете говорить.
Я брала на программу исследований для ученых и деятелей искусств. И что я буду очень коротко говорить, я просто хочу дать некоторые рекомендации для тех, кто это захочет делать. Первое, значит, исходить нужно, безусловно, из круга собственных интересов. То есть, в данном случае не повезло, потому что я занимаюсь американским кино, но тем не менее, вот этот момент как бы важен. Да, пытаться, так сказать, все-таки собственные интересы соблюсти, потому что это даст вам дополнительную мотивацию и для дальнейшего интервью, и для, собственно, того, чтобы написать хорошо работу. А это на самом деле очень важно.
Personal interest, just to switch your interest to something to personal interest. I think it's just good to have you excluded from this group. We're very fortunate to have you and her, who's in the process now to learn from you.
Сориентироваться, куда вы хотите ехать. И корректировать тему, исходя из этого места, куда вы собираетесь ехать. Потому что, скажем, у меня было два варианта поездки. У меня был бар и Питтсбург. И, скажем, поскольку я занималась новым Голливудом, мне не хотелось буквально повторять то, что я занималась, то, что у меня вышло книжка. Мне хотелось как-то использовать уже наработанные вещи, да, для того, чтобы их развить лучше. Вот, поэтому я люблю периоды 60-х, 70-х годов, и я для себя подумала, что на самом деле не очень хорошо до конца знать вообще контекст американского кино 60-х, 70-х. И я подумала, что бар – прекрасное место для изучения авангарда этого времени, для того, чтобы представлять контекст гораздо шире. И после этого я подумала о том, собственно, какую тему выбрать так, чтобы этот контекст новый для меня использовать, да, и в то же время включить в мой контекст, который я знаю. И тут как раз вот для меня было важно, собственно, заняться написанием исторических анализов. И как бы таким образом, собственно, моя тема так и появилась, исторические анализы. В 60-х, да, как бы исходя из того, что я буду исследовать вообще как бы кинопроцесс 60-х, да, и смотреть, каким образом все это повлияло, да, как язык вообще развивался в американском кино, не только в той области, которая меня первоначально интересовала. И в этом смысле, когда ты выбираешь университет, соответственно, ты как бы ориентируешься, что ты можешь там изучать. Бар, в котором традиционно очень хорошие сильные курсы по авангарду и по экспериментальному кино, в этом смысле очень хороший подход. Значит, второе, значит, нужно очень хорошо попытаться, ну, понятно, что вы до конца не сможете, но тем не менее хорошо попытаться через интернет изучить литературу, которая вам необходима. Для того, чтобы ваша задача монетизировалась. Литература в смысле не сами книги, да, понятно, что не всегда ставится, а в смысле того, что вы хотите в Америке прочитать. Да, совершенно верно. Составить очень хорошо библиотеку. Для этого, конечно, нужно использовать всевозможные ресурсы, Amazon, как бы, и различные другие.
When did she go over? When did she start?
Не просто как бы всевозможные референсы, книги, которые, так сказать, вы сами читали. То есть в этой таблице библиотеки очень сильно, на самом деле, будет как бы программа. Дальше. Когда вы пишете пропозал, очень важно понять для себя, каким методом исследования вы будете, собственно, вот это дело как бы разрабатывать. Да, как бы, ну, в данном случае для меня такой, конечно, важен формальный метод, и он как раз очень хорошо связывал Россию с Америкой, потому что, не знаю, как русскую школу формалистов, да, и американский неоформализм, в смысле, который продолжает на самом деле русские традиции. Вот. И в этом смысле как раз вы в своем пропозе можете мотивировать, да, вот эту связь России и Америки, да, как бы, соответственно, показывать, да, вот, что это взаимодействие, еще на стиле, да, на форме, да, это очень научная вещь. Ну, понятно, что там еще и другие, да, история географическая, но вот этот момент как бы важен. То есть пытаться искать, да, как бы, такие переклички, грубо говоря, чем вы можете быть интересны американцам, да, и что вы можете перенести, как бы, да, из России в Америку. Вот этот момент, как бы, этот акцент нужно пропозывать и постоянно делать. Плюс, конечно, очень важна для американцев практическая значимость его исследования. То есть, ради чего ты, собственно, все это делаешь, да? Ради книги, ради создания курса лекций, ради цикла статей. То есть, вот этот момент нужно очень четко проартикулировать, да? То есть, какова конечная цель твоего собственного пребывания в Америке. Само собеседование, оно довольно интересно, тут очень как бы важно, собственно, вообще какую-то есть находчивость, потому что вопросы могут возникнуть самые разные, и абсолютно не обязательно, что они будут связаны с своим собственным пропозом. Да? Они могут быть связаны с твоей биографией, с твоим, скажем, кругом интересов, да, как бы, и так далее. Но тем не менее, вот этот момент, да, как бы, того, что ты можешь, скажем, американцам, как исследователю привнести, так или иначе будет задавать. И последнее. Рекомендации. Как их стоит, собственно, подбирать? Во-первых, нужно, так сказать, все-таки исходить из того, что человек тебя очень хорошо знает. То есть он очень хорошо знает либо, соответственно, твои исследования, либо тебя как какой-то деятельности. И лучше всего брать людей из разных как бы, сфер, да, как бы, чтобы они знали тебя максимально объемно, да, то есть разных качеств. В этом смысле далеко не обязательно брать только американские, скажем, рекомендации. Вполне можно взять и русские, но, естественно, желательно так, чтобы были и те, и другие. Тогда это даст возможность, скажем, быть представленным, да, с двух сторон лучше. Вот это, собственно, такие вот небольшие рекомендации конкретно по моей программе. Конечно, другие программы, наверное, имеют какие-то другие еще требования, но кто захочет подавать на research, да, или на программу лекций, там, насколько я знаю, нужно еще помимо этого подавать, соответственно, развернутый план лекционного курса, но я просто не касалась, поэтому мне сложно.
Благодарю вас. Если хотите, я буквально в словах расскажу немножко, что мне еще хотелось добавить. Во-первых, коллеги, самое главное, что я хочу сказать, ради чего я выступаю, это вас активно на это дело подталкивать. Потому что вот, когда я подавал на Фулбрайта, и моя заявка прошла, я попался, я был первым номером в тот момент в году, когда я подавал, ну, как аспирант еще. Я понял так, что очень многие могли попадать из-за всякой неизрядной конкуренции, но главная причина, почему люди не подают, это какая-то, не знаю, область, душевная несвобода. То есть это на самом деле можно делать, нужно делать. Тем более того, в течение многих лет на то же самое Фулбрайта, в течение просто многих, как вот я выиграл достижение в 2004-2005 годах, я потом продолжал оставаться то в качестве оценщиков рецензентов, то в качестве каких-нибудь круглых столов, то появлялся и работал еще когда в Англии, тоже активно сотрудничал с организацией Фулбрайта. И таким образом у меня, более того, потом получилось так, что я стал финалистом других программ, я увидел, как это все коррелирует и работает. Меня много раз приглашают заниматься вопросом отбора кандидатов на подобные программы и на Фулбрайта отчасти тоже. И поэтому я действительно считаю себя knowledgeable в этом отношении, давал презентации, что каждый, как писать заявки, как проходить. С одной стороны, это целая наука, с другой стороны, не боги, что я уже, мы вот этого научились. Я просто говорю, подавайте. Пока пройдет год, вы думаете, вот это долго, я часто слышу этот процесс, с этим занимает год. Но лучше подадите и живете этот год, чем вы не подадите, год пройдет, а после вы не там. Вы часто оказываете, что вы, в принципе, жалеете. И даже если вы не прошли, грубо говоря, вы все равно получили какой-то опыт. Моя первая самая заявка не на Фулбрайт не была удачной, не была successful. Но я считаю, что без нее я бы не получил потом Фулбрайта. Это научило меня многому. Вот именно как проходить собеседование, интервью, как писать эти заявки. Здесь я хочу сказать, что все-таки программа Фулбрайт, вот, я думаю, правильно будет не молчать об этом, а открыто сказать. Сегодня репутация, сегодня много во многих аспектах возражается в Начну с того, что я реально не знаю ни одного человека, стипендиата программы Фулбрайта, который бы там остался, а знаю многих. Может, конечно, кто-то и остался, но здесь действительно закон работает жестко. И в моем случае, что уж скрывать, можно надеяться остаться, но виза J1, она работает железно, и ее очень трудно переводить. И поэтому мне пришлось уехать в другую страну, что, к счастью, для меня лично неплохо не было, но это касается всех нас. Поэтому, вот смотрите, сама по себе ситуация с обогащением нашего культурного опыта, это да, безусловно, но мы с тем, чтобы вас каким-то пониманием осуществлять утечку с нашего сознания, с нашего одноразового полосы. Здесь важно отметить то, что на эту программу поступить в разы легче, чем если вы будете сами поступать куда-то в университет на программу магистратуры или докторатуры. Это я тоже вам говорю совершенно убежденно. В разы легче, потому что так работает эта программа, что она как раз дизайн запущена для того, чтобы нам помочь с этим. То есть вот вам уже было сказано про архитектуру, сначала вы пишете заявку, потом вы сдаете формулу NGRA. И вот здесь я хочу добавить к тому, что вы уже слышали, я специалист по издаванию Джоела. Я ни разу не сдал его хотя бы как балл. При том, что меня пустили довольно не только на Фулбрайт, потом еще и на Гейтсе, мы читали, здесь довольно престижная scholarship, которая примерно конкурс 1 в 100, но я все еще не сдал, так и не сдал нормальные страшные тесты. И сейчас он, наверное, не сдал. Я вообще не переболел, потому что там написано. Так вот, я к тому, что вы эти тесты можете спокойно не бояться. Действительно, люди решают на основании данных, скажем, объективных, того, что вас пишут, того, как рецензируется ваша заявка, интервью. Фильтров достаточно, а тесты существуют как нечто дополнительное. Я знаю многих людей, кто плохо говорит по-английски, но хорошо дает тесты, и серьезно. Я уж не знаю, кто говорит по-английски, я потом учился и писал все качества. Так вот, эта ситуация, она действительно такова. Ну и в-третьих, я просто должен сказать вам, что это реально обращает, реально большая путевка в жизнь, потому что вот нам всем нужен какой-то трамплин, чтобы пройти и двигаться дальше в карьере, куда-то вверх, чтобы потом поступить, вот как я сделал, программу PhD, или пойти куда-то работать в Фулбрайта, это реально много дает. И дает огромное количество, пока молодой еще человек, молодой какой-то организм, это надо делать, потому что чем дальше в лес, тем больше дров, тем больше сложнее становится ваша конкуренция. А войдя в эту программу Фулбрайта, вы, в принципе, в жизни не выйдете, вы потом все равно будете конечно, не участвовать. И, конечно же, повторяю, что именно через эту программу легче всего пройти туда. То есть других вариантов, таких вот простых нет, вам будет гораздо 1000 раз сложнее, может быть, пойти в какие-то другие путем, чем Фулбрайта. Конкурс у них, во-первых, он стал субсидироваться несколько лет тому назад нашей страной. Наше правительство решило выделить деньги. И поэтому у нас количество кандидатов в России увеличилось. Это было приятно. Во-вторых, они реально платят за нас больше, чем, скажем, Америка платит за тех кандидатов, которые приезжают в Россию. Я знаю многих Фулбрайтов из США, которые учились в Москве, и я знаю, как их сотрудники не жаловали. То есть нам даже лучше делается условия, чем делается для американских граждан у нас. Это тоже один из удивительных моментов. Третий нюанс, что когда есть много successful candidates, когда вот есть реально хороший набор, естественно, возможно увеличение кого-то и все такое. То есть здесь нет такого, что вы хороший, но вы не прошли. Если вы реально сделали сильную заявку, сильную постановку вопроса, то у вас реально есть очень хорошие шансы. И правильно сказал мистер Эриксон, если вы в этом году как-то не прошли, то подавайте на следующий год. Это все равно будет ваша настойчивость, и это замечательный плюс все равно будет для вас. Так что ищите и обрящите. Я очень рекомендую вам это всей души. И скажу вам, что и у меня вот публичный профайл есть на сайте университета с рабочим имейлом. Если у вас будут какие-то вопросы, то, пожалуйста, обращайтесь. Но помимо этого, я совершенно твердо вам говорю, нет такого вопроса, нет такой проблемы, с которой вы не могли бы обратиться в офис в Москве. Вы всегда находите очень friendly attitude, очень добродушные, такое участливое отношение ко всем пожеланиям. Даже когда я начинал совершенно, вот расскажите мне, грубо говоря, вообще о программе, и что это зачем, а я хочу чего-то, но не знаю чего, они вас не отправят, давайте мы вам все расскажем. Вот материал, вот читайте, вот здесь, вот так, вот вы чего хотите этого, замечательно. Они будут с вами заниматься. Очень серьезная поддержка, опора. То есть, когда я проходил эту программу, я вот все сделал вот так вот с ними, коррелируя, задавая вопросы, получая ответы, и до сих пор это что там работает программа, то есть у них очень много опытных специалистов, много ветеранов этой программы. И повторяю вам, что я был бы очень рад, если бы вы и с нашего факультета, и с факультета других частей СПБГУ, и наши выпускники, и вы все стали бы активнее участвовать в жизни Фулбрайта, что у нас бы появилось в итоге маленькая, но с предметами Фулбрайт хранились. Так что...
То есть я размышлял, что докторская программа там вообще один год, по-моему, да? Или нет? Или просто просто вообще вот параллельно выступают, там 4 года. Да? То есть 4 года продолжается докторская программа обучения. То есть если в Америке, я здесь не прохожу там, да, потому что у меня есть институт, то есть 4 года они же могут поддерживать это?
I think, Joel, the question is that he saw the doctoral program and he understood that there is only 1 year for support by Fulbright and not and although the doctoral program lasts for about 4 years. What's your answer to this?
You only have one year. If you're going to do research for a candidate program, you would only go for 6 months in support. The Fulbright doesn't support a longer period for research than that.
Ну, я понял, о чем речь. Когда вы не можете целиком полностью подавать на PhD там, на спонсированный Фулбрайт, вы можете получать здесь, в аспирантуре, подать Да. Я подавал, будучи аспирантом, просто потом я перевал и переехал в другую аспирантуру, но не по Фулбрайту. То есть здесь ситуация такая, что не в Америке. Здесь ситуация такая, что это работает. То есть вам дается как бы возможность получить собрать данные определенные. То есть, смотрите еще, я поступил как аспирант. Actually, I remember, is it a change now? Because I remember when I was a PhD student in Moscow, I applied Fulbright for 1 year as a research. Is it the same now? We can do this. Like when you are already a PhD student in Russia, as you said, according to things are changed, right? You can do the same thing, oops, all year. Could you please explain once again? So only 6 months when you are a PhD student. Только на 6 месяцев, если вы учитесь здесь. Вот так. То есть уже видели сюда, посмотрите. Другие вопросы? Ну, тогда давайте поблагодарим наших уважаемых коллег.